Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. How's everybody doing tonight? Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for everybody who tunes in after the live stream. And if you wait a couple hours, the chats can be replayed. You can enjoy those too. But we've got a lot to talk about again tonight, and I suspect that's going to be the case for quite a while. I've got Sheet up there, SHEET, holy sheet. General Flynn, he just put out a very interesting truth. And the Vatican, we got comms from the grave that I believe might be very important. People will be very interested in, and news updates and more. So let me see who's coming in. Hi, Nikki B. Hi, Happy Days. Wanda, Mike. How's everybody doing tonight? I hope you're doing well. But I'll tell you what, we'll get some people in the chats. But I do want to talk about uh, a little bit about what I was talking about last night. You know, it's a funny thing, and we'll wait to get people in here. I want to ask a question. But anyway, I had about half a dozen people leave me on Truth Social this morning. I noticed, got mad at me for some reason. And holy cow, you figure on Truth Social that everybody's pretty much on the same wavelength. Nobody would turn their nose up at somebody over getting mad over something. I don't know, but I'll get to that in a minute. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Patriot Missile. Happy Days, Debbie. Haha, it's going to Hope Matrix. Okay, good evening. Nice to meet you. We got Patriot Missile in the house. Bubba, how you doing? Maria, how are you? From Texas. Haha. That's good to hear. Man, we're going to hang on to Texas, aren't we? Hi, Kelly. Hi, Lori. Interesting tidbits, Angel Rose. Everybody's coming in. That's good to hear. Well, I'll tell you, I'll get into a little deeper conversation I had on my list yesterday of matters of fact. I had Paul Ryan on there. I might get into that tonight that I didn't get to, and I had some other stuff I wanted to talk about. But I'll tell you, there was something our favorite general. Of course, I spelled his name wrong in the title because you don't know if I'm certain that they don't want his news or his words getting out on certain platforms. So I spelled it with an I. I know that. I spelled Vatican with a number one instead of a T because that's a sensitive subject. And people go, hey, why can't you do this? Why can't you do that? Because I know I can't for many reasons. Okay. Mike's 1176. How you doing? Sherry. Nice to meet you, Sherry. And I wonder where Philo's at. He messaged us a while back, said he had to take a break because stuff was driving him nuts, and I can't blame him. Hi, Wanda. Laughs a lot. How you doing? Okay, folks. Well, I tell you, I got to be careful how I say this now. Then we got a lot of people in the chats. If you aren't on Truth, and then the other half is social, there's the A with a circle around it. True Gen Flynn, and that's with a Y, FLYNN. He reposted something where somebody said, Holy SH in the real word, Project Veritas comes through again. They got that certain drug company that starts with a P, F, the director of research and development on camera. And that's highlighted, admitting the evidence shows I hope I wasn't being interrupted. I'm muted. Oh, no sound. Well, somebody was messaging me. Did you? Oh boy. Sorry about that, folks. I was talking, somebody decided to message me, and I got it off there, but I guess it interrupts the stream when people do that. It's not like I don't do this every night. Have you got sound now? So, anyway, did you all hear what I was reading about the good general? And I will repeat what the good general said if I have to. Maria said yes. Lovely lady 422. She said yes too. How you doing, honey? Phil R said, yep, okay, good. I don't got to reread that. So, apparently, so anybody out there that has a way to reach me, please don't do it when I'm broadcasting. Anyhow, you missed it. Lovely lady 442 missed it. Repeat, please, says Debbie. Interesting tidbit says repeat. I will repeat. And what I started off with was someone saying that Project Veritas has the CEO of that particular drug company saying that that particular illness was man-made, and that they were also, that particular drug company was also doing similar work, if I will say work rather than experiment. Anyway, so General FLIN responded saying, holy shit, this is the least of it. This is criminal and needs to be immediately investigated. Who's got this one? Congress, DOJ, the FBI, maybe a local county sheriff with many explanation points behind that. And I hope you all got that. And I was saying, I would think that a local sheriff would have jurisdiction over criminal activity. Okay. So now where does this company, where were they doing this kind of, quote, work? In other words, gain of, and what Rand Paul said, function. Oh, okay. Not the CEO. That's what the guy said in his tweet. Well, they got it on. They got something on tape. And nobody gets a pass, right? Nobody who plays the game gets a pass. Cab Delta. Yeah, you will. Doc Ghost, how you doing? Sharon's here. Jersey Joe, how you doing? If I miss you all in the chats, I say hi to everybody. Okay, so that's that came out about an hour before I went live. And that's what you call big news, okay? Big news. And there's so much going on. I'm going to highlight what is in my title first. And you all remember how I was discussing when Pope Benedict died. He was not the acting pope. He was the first pope in 600 years to step down. And everybody's eyebrows went up over that. You can look at his history and articles about him. They, as far as I know, they're mostly all up. No one's taken them down. But that he was known as, in the Western culture, he was known as the hammer because he was adamant in the teachings of the church. He said life was precious in all stages and conditions, the sanctity of marriage, you name it. He meant business. And in South America, we found out upon his passing that the news media was referring to Pope Benedict as God's Rottweiler. Okay? And his real name, he was German. He was a German cardinal named Ratzinger. So you can also look up other articles about him. He is very well known for being a strict. I would say if he was American looking at the Bible like we look at the Constitution, he would be a strict constitutionalist. But he is strictly in favor of Scripture as written, and has always been that way with his teachings. But the latest thing that's come out about him is that he published a book. And the book came out saying that, his posthumous allegations was that the church was being pushed by a progressive agenda under Francis, and that Catholic seminaries were being used as GAY clubs. Okay? GAY clubs. And this book was published posthumously. Hi, Awaken Trillium. It was posted after he passed away. And that's got a lot of people wondering, why even step down in the first place? And there's some mystery behind that. And then now they don't publish his book till after he has passed. And Francis had to respond to this. Pope Francis says, HOMO, okay, sexuality is not a crime. After Benedict book revealed GAY clubs in seminaries. Clubs in seminaries. Now, the Pope has a lot of power, but you got to understand the Catholic Church is worldwide. And you have millions of people underneath the auspices of the Pope. But you've got below that, you've got cardinals and you've got bishops and you've got this and that. It's not a situation like I was trying to explain with Trump, where one person can walk into the top tier of this system and order changes and everybody snap to it and do what you say. Just because Trump made it to be president doesn't mean he could just pull a plug and drain the swamp. So what this is telling us, Pope Benedict had a swamp, and they sidelined him, I think. And the powers that were at the time, and some probably still exist, it wasn't something he could change as a lone individual, especially if he was in declining health. But he was able to reach out, as in my title, from the grave, with his book. And some loyalists made sure that book got out. And anything written by a pope is going to be read and regarded by hundreds of millions of people around the world. So here we have a situation where Francis is diametrically opposed in many ways to the prior pope, and I know John Paul did not condone that because it's written in the book as an abomination. So now he has to publicly be at odds with the book itself, thanks to Pope Benedict. Yes, thanks to Pope Benedict. So when we see the other issues that he's either been fuzzy on or not as adamant about as Pope Benedict, I'm of a mind that I have to assume that he is taking a much more liberal and, as Benedict said, a more progressive view. We know he wanted to, that was taken into consideration, I'll say, changing the last part of the Lord's Prayer. Our Father who art in heaven. I think the last words of that are, thy will be done. So I think there would have to be, hi Camperman, there would have to be Nick's Creations. Nice to meet you. There would have to be, I believe, some statements directly from this Pope concerning a lot of the issues we're facing today, to find out where he actually stands. And this would include what's going on in our schools, the movement that's going on in our schools. And people were talking about doing T-shirts and all this stuff. And I was thinking, do a T-shirt where there's a rainbow on the T-shirt that says, this is God's promise. Symbolizes God's promise not to destroy the earth. And nothing more. Something of that ilk. Hi, Lori. Let's see. You remember the picture of Mr. T and family dressed in black, Debbie says. I'm just reading the comments, folks, a couple of comments. I can't do them all. Yes, please hit the like button for me. Thank you. I appreciate it so much. So we've got, I'm thinking there's going to be some pressure to actually stake out a position. Now, Pope's put out what's called encyclicals. That's where they're speaking for the church. But his utterances are as a man. And, until that's put into a papal encyclical, but I really think that a lot of these matters are going to have to be addressed. Lori H says, I'm so tired of trying to buy grandkids clothes and everything in rainbow and unicorns. Oh my gosh. That's right. That's right. And the thing is, that's not what the rainbow symbolized. Yes, the Pope looked pretty grim with Mr. T. I put a picture of that in one of my past broadcasts. Kate, I'm going to put that up so everybody can read it. Because it isn't all doom and gloom, is it? No, it's not. And that's part of why I did the Matters of Fact video last night. So there isn't all this doom and gloom. When you see people drifting off into thinking everybody's a traitor, some people saying even Trump might be part of the deep state, and they're going to go. No. We got to think about it, and you can't have all doom and gloom. It was funny because Kleinstein put up a truth today, or late last night after I finished my broadcast, and I was like, man, is he listening to me, or what? Or was he catching the same guff I've been catching? But let me read this to you. What benefit or advantage would we gain from putting an enemy as first in line to the presidency? God forbid Trump chokes on a piece of steak or passes away, and now we have a deep state rat as POTUS because we wanted to get cute, question mark. And I guess this was an old post when he was referring to Pence being VP. Why would we risk putting somebody that's not loyal in next in line? And then he says, this doesn't make any strategic or logical sense. This community can argue about the color of Pence's hat until the cows come home. But the bottom line is that anyone close to Trump is heavily vetted and either loyal or controlled by Trump. Pence is playing a role. And that is a good way to look at it, folks. He's either heavily vetted or he is heavily vetted. He's either loyal or he's got to play a role. But as far as that thing about the company that starts with a P, Holy Sheet is right. That's for both those things. For what Benedict disclosed, for what Pope Benedict disclosed about the church, GAY groups organized in seminaries, and what this company has admitted. One of their executives, I'm not sure which one now, one of their executives has admitted was just what General FLIN said, committing criminal acts. I mean, international crimes. So, yeah, Holy Sheet is right. And I put this up that I couldn't get this banner quick enough, but the Benedict is ministering his flock from the grave. He's letting people know from the grave. And why he's been put in that position, why he retired and stepped down so early. These are questions. And we know the 17th letter referred a number of times to the movie Godfather 3. And how many people watch that movie that's in the chats and remember anything about that part of Godfather 3? Because I'll just say real quick. What happened to Godfather 3 was the Pope was assassinated. He was poisoned with tea in his sleep. The nuns and children have testified, yeah? For which Eastern case, Ronald? Hi, Ronald. How you doing? He had the prosecutor fired in the islands. Yes, he did. So anyway, I was saying I had about half a dozen people just drop off on True Social, and I was thinking, I don't know why. You know, it's not like I'm striving to get people on there. I put my videos up, make a few comments. I put forward a couple of funny memes yesterday and today. Might want to check it out. But most of you all were listening to my broadcasts last night and the night before. Was it because I was talking nice about Pence or McCarthy? Put an A in if you think it's because I was defending people who I think are playing a role, an undercover role, that people are certain are traitors. And we need to take things in our own hands with the Second Amendment. Or do you think B, I was admonishing people for talking about using the Second Amendment outside of the law, and I said they weren't patriots for talking that way? Or do you think it's C, none of the above, something else? Because I was cogitating, why would people just drop off? It's not the end of my world for sure. But is it because I was pointing out how certain people were playing a role, Jeff Sessions, the names if you listened last night's broadcast, or B, because I told people that are running around talking about taking up arms outside of a lawful entity were not patriots and ignorant, and were looking to get themselves into deep you-know-what. So if it's the first one, I can understand that. They'll have to see for themselves at the end of the show, okay, when Scooby pulls the mask off the bad guy, okay, or the mask off the good guy. I don't know how it's going to work, but I went over pretty concisely about things and people's behaviors, not what people say about them. So, but if it's the ones who are mad and say, I'm not following him because we got to take up arms, we got to do this and we got to do that, like that moron running for a race and lost some race somewhere and got himself arrested for brandishing or whatever happened to him. Those people I don't need. And neither do you all. Don't listen to people like that. I can't say anything more than what I said, what George Washington would do with people like that. When he's prosecuting a war as a general, he has troops underneath him who are sworn to their duty, who have signed their name, who are sacrificing, following orders, marching, staying in regiments. And then you got a bunch of knotheads running around the woods with their own weapons, doing their own thing. What George Washington would do with them. And that's the same thing right now. So anyway, I don't know why I don't see Hope. Hi, Hope. How are you? Hope says B. That's right, Hope. And I'm afraid that's the case myself. A and B. Okay, Wanda said A and B can't handle the truth. That's true. Maybe it is a little bit of both. And it might be a little lopsided to these people running around. Might have been where I was saying I'm not a type person broadcasting with a 6-pack of beer in my gut, chain smoking Marlboros, talking smack. That might have been what got him mad. I don't know. Might have been one or two of them leave because of that. Cheryl says something other. Oh, they don't see what we see, Cheryl says. That's right. Hi, Amy. Hope Maddox. Hi, Phil R. Hi, Donna. How you doing? That's right. Well, let him go. Let him run, right? But I'll tell you one thing about Pence. Everybody's saying, "Oh, put him in jail too. He had classified information, and he stabbed Donald Trump in the back. He stabbed America in the back." Okay, I could see that as an initial knee jerk. I was there too. I was like, "Why didn't he send it back?" Oh, Pence, I was mad, and I was ready to bet the farm that Biden would never set foot in the White House, that they would not let that inauguration go through. But you know what? I was only at a 5,000-foot view at best. This has got to be looked at from the 40,000-foot view. What do you see when you're 40,000 feet in the air? You see other countries besides the U.S. You see a lot. And as I said, had he kicked it back, the level of information the average American had was so low, truthful information was so low that it would have destroyed credibility, it would have created conflict, and as I said last night, permanently divided this nation. And it would not have led us to the many facets of the Great Awakening, one of which is we can't be asleep at the switch when it comes to voting in our own elections as to who runs our lives in our own states, counties, and towns. Because they can go in there and forcibly change everything and have conflicting stories told in media, conflicting stories told in history books, and we would be like the Tower of Babel. No, everybody speaking different language about it. Nobody on the same page. We would not be a unified nation. But the way we're doing it, we got an invisible enemy that's coming out. Trump said, we are at war with an invisible enemy. And I think I'll put a thumbnail on this after the broadcast. It has to do with the invisible enemy. Because it's like throwing talcum powder on the invisible man when he runs by. There he goes. You can see him now. You threw talcum powder on him. That's where we're getting to. But back then, back January 22 years ago, you said, hey, there's an invisible man running around out here. They'd look at you, you're crazy. We can't let Biden be inaugurated. There's an invisible person around. No, well, you hit him with a bag of flour or talcum powder, and the people go, oh, you're right. At least see some footprints like Gollum running around. So anyway, with Pence, what has he done? He volunteered. He didn't have to go, oh, I got classified papers too. And why don't y'all come on in here, come in my house and look around. I want to make sure I'm right with the law. What did he do? He turned up the heat. He turned up the heat on Obama. He turned up the heat on Clinton. He turned up the heat on George Bush Jr., even Jimmy Carter. Because if it comes out that they've got stuff too, what are they going to do? Refuse to let them in? Trump never refused anyone access. He let the National Archives come in. If the FBI said, hey, we need to come in and see what you got, he said, sure. Because he's declassified the stuff. Now they have this thing Obama pushed through was where the president could keep certain things for certain reasons free from scrutiny on a FOIA request for 5 years, and then another higher level of classification where he could keep it secret for 12 years, but it had to meet certain criteria. So Obama, the 5 years is up on Obama. He's been out for more than 5 years, been out for 6 years. And if what he has doesn't meet that extra criteria, he hadn't even declared it. No record that we know of. So Pence, again, is playing his role. Trump sent out signals, that he's softened to Pence. That's giving us the signals, wait a minute, let's pay attention to what Pence is doing and saying. And Pence is like, oh, I want to be a good citizen, a good former official, and I have these documents. Come get them, go through them. Yes, I'm an open book. What about when people hear the drops about Obama and what he's got? What's he going to say? He can't help it. He's got to let them come in. Yeah, Angel. We're trying to figure out the biggest sting operation. You know, and some stuff we're not supposed to know, and some stuff we'll find out as we go along. But I just know that it is an operation. That's the main thing. Now, who's that guy that got elected in Pennsylvania? Looks like from the Goonies. Hey guys, what's his name again? Um, I can't remember. Dan Scavino put up a very interesting video just before I came up. Right after General Flynn posted his holy video, statement. He had a interesting video of this person, whatever his name is. Let's see if somebody help me out in the chats. That's right, Tennessee, white hat or gray, one of the two. Hot dog neck. Fetterman, yeah, Fetterman. Yeah, Fetterman was up on a Scavino. Now, Scavino's somebody who doesn't post very often, but when he does, I'll tell you a little more about Scavino in a bit. But he on TWITTR, he put up what's going on here. And the video is of this Fetterman dude with his wife and I guess a couple of her kids, I don't know, meeting with Kamala Harris. And it was kind of like a ceremony. I guess she was swearing him in or whatever. But he put it up like, what's going on here, for you to analyze the video and see what you think. And as we know, his wife is from Brazil. Oh, I got to write that down. I'm going to ask my friend Oakman if he knows anything about that individual. I better write that down or I'll forget. Well, y'all wouldn't let me forget, would you? When I get Oakman, I don't know when we're going to come up. Oakman Fetterman's wife, if he knows anything about her. Because she's going to be the real senator, right? Wouldn't that be something if Kamala got into the presidency and she nominated Fetterman for her vice presidential pick? Wouldn't that be something? As we all know, she's the one running the show. So Brazil would have a heavy influence in our government. So anyway, I'm going to go back and take a good look at that video. Hi, Jamie. So anyway, if y'all get a chance to pay attention to Dan Scavino, and there's a circle of people that think that when Dan Scavino posts dog posts, that is going to foreshadow a demise. I'll put it that way. Dog comms. So there's some talk about that's going on too. I don't know if that applies to Biden or not. And I am not discounting that video where he said program crash and burn is going on. Message Michelle. I'm not thinking that that's a total LARP there, because he announced today that the United States is going to send Abrams tanks to Ukraine. Breaking: Biden to send 31 Abrams tanks to Ukraine. He explained the move was recommended by Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, who argued it would enhance Ukraine's capacity to defend its territory and achieve its strategic objectives. And I pointed out how Lloyd Austin beat feet over there to Germany to try to get the Germans. And I understand they have agreed to send some Leopard 2s, tanks, Leopard 2s. And I've already read from a source I got over there that says the Leopard 2s are outdated. And it'd be pretty much like the Russians shooting beer cans. But the Abrams tank is a little bit more serious, and it is considered an offensive weapon, which is violating the NATO treaty with Russia. And Trump has said we're at the edge, okay, as far as the N-word war, that type. And Putin has made it very clear he's going to strike at decision-making centers. So they're not letting up with Trump. They're saying that county in Georgia, FULTON, right? The indictments are imminent, and one of the people indicted could be Mr. T. Now, this Letitia James was put on a map that was posted by Fox News. When Fox News used to take people down for mentioning the word Georgie Porgy Soriosio, they would cut the mic or take the person down. Well, the report I saw, they were openly mentioning his name and talking about how much millions of dollars of influence he's gotten put into prosecutors around the country, and they put a map up highlighting all the prosecutors. I put it on my Truth page, and Letitia James is one of them, okay, from New York, and also the prosecutor in Georgia. So they're building a case, I think. That's a good way to spell it, Tennessee. Ha ha, you. Ha ha, you. And in the other words, Crane. Ha ha. Money laundering. Yeah, I see somebody said something in the chats about FB, okay, and TWITTR. Wanda, I think he may. I think he may. You say he might not, but let me show you. Somebody else is messaging me. My goodness. Oh, Lord. Anyway, hopefully y'all don't lose signal with me. But about that, Trump put out a tweet about 2 hours, I think, before I went up, maybe more. Let me see if I can find that one real quick without losing everybody. Mr. T said that he was glad that they lifted the ban on him. I'll have to see if I can find that. Yes, I want to make sure I haven't lost my volume with you all. Okay, I'm just looking through the chats. Trump has said, Facebook in capital letters, which has lost billions of dollars in value since, quote, deplatforming your favorite president, me, has just announced that they are reinstating my account. Such a thing should never again happen to a sitting president or anyone else who is not deserving of retribution. Okay, so that's the first part of what he said. In the second part, thank you to Truth Social for doing such an incredible job, in all caps. Your growth is outstanding and the future is unlimited. So he thanked Truth Social, but I heard that he had a non-compete clause or some type of contractual agreement where he would stay with Truth Social for a certain period of time exclusively, and that agreement is expiring, I think, this coming month. So I'm thinking that he's going to. And I'm thinking there's going to be some kind of liaison between the two, because we have to remember, and it's reinforced by Kash Patel. Kash Patel said, I gave Elon Musk billions of dollars, and he is the top defense contractor in the country. And that billions of dollars was for him to perform. Okay? He's got to perform. So, got to remember that Elon Musk and Trump are working together. So Trump can be heard. He can aggravate and that word itself, Trigger, more liberals by being on those two sites than anything else. He can awaken more people, create a tremendous amount of buzz. So I don't think he's going to worry so much about the fortunes of the truth site as much as the fortunes of this country. He's going to have that foremost in his mind. But I believe there's going to be some type of cooperative liaison between the sites. And I find it disappointing that, as little bit as I do on that site Truth, that almost 10% bail on me because they're so set in concrete in their brain. Whatever I said, from using logic and stating facts, gets them to go, oh, I'm not going to listen to him no more. What do they want me to talk about? Like the ones I've talked about in the past, Jaco and Street Fighter Patriot and all these other characters run around talking about how the military's going to do this, going to do that, and saying the same garbage for years and getting people all excited or frustrated or feeling so let down that they're depressed. No, I'm showing how this thing is being handled at a very sophisticated, high level of information operation. So, Truth Social, I'm not supposed to say that the same words together, but I just did. But that site, Truth site, just from what I discussed about everybody, unsubscribing from me like that, tells you right there it is a echo chamber, and it is too top heavy with what I'm starting to consider myself to be conservative radicals. If they can't look at Pence's situation, Jeff Sessions' situation, and go, I see what they're doing. When they claim they pay attention to the 17th letter, right? And the 17th letter said, how do you catch a dangerous animal? But it actually said KILL. You can't come head on. You got to come from the side. You got to trap it. Even with all that, and I point out all the stuff I pointed out, they pull up stakes and leave and want to go listen to some Mike Penny or Phil Godlewski or somebody like that. So maybe they need to blend the two. Okay? They need to blend Truth and Twitter. Okay? And I think that's a move I would make. You look at it from a business standpoint, and what's the best for this country as far as unity and what I said, the executive order that Trump signed. Okay? Where's that at? Right here. and that is towards the media. They've got to fall in line with truth and reconciliation. They have to start letting the truth out. We have to allow the American people to reconcile the events that have occurred so this nation can move forward united. Thank you, Tennessee. I'll put you up here, brother. Yeah, I mean, you're right, Wanda. I can't watch some of them anymore. I can't. I tell you, I watched one the other day. I got so mad I couldn't see straight. It's infuriating. The Washington Post is going to be laying off a bunch of people. Trump put out a tweet about that. They're going to be laying off 20 journalists, and I don't know how many support staff. So that's part of the Truth and Reconciliation Act. I'm sure of it. And the other thing, let's see. WAPO layoffs begin at Washington Post after Bezos visits. 1 week after billionaire owner Jeff Bezos visits to Washington Post newsroom to meet with top editorial staff, WAPO employees are getting the boot. DJT put that one up. So, are they going to be replaced? I mean, is it to cut costs or is it to get rid of liars? To get rid of embedded, COMMIES, okay? You're going to be a news organization that's running lawfully in this country. You cannot have top-heavy reporters who adhere to Marxist ideology and promote Marxist ideology. So that'll be interesting to see. Are they being gotten rid of because of budget cuts or because of their past positions? It's going to be very interesting. Going to be very interesting to see the profiles of these people that are let go. So the little things you got to look out for, watch for. And the other thing, Mr. T put out, one of the greatest privileges I had as president was firing Deborah Birx. The only thing she had going was nice scarves. I remember so well when she was lecturing the American people not to leave their homes for Thanksgiving, and then she traveled hundreds of miles to visit her family, who incredibly turned her into the police. The only one that thought highly of her was herself. So there he's letting Deborah Birx have it, and he put up a article from RedState.com. Deborah Birx openly admits lying about the you know what thing that goes in your arm to manipulate the American people. They got quotes from her in her own words. And that's going to get around. And how about if those journalists that have been let go get replaced by people that will report, that want to earn a Pulitzer Prize? Wouldn't that be nice if some of the ones that got let go were the ones that supposedly won the Pulitzer Prize? That'll be interesting to see, won't it? Because let me tell you, Bezos, he's a billionaire, he's this and that, but he can't violate the U.S. law. He cannot knowingly permit the type of reporting that is designed to remove a duly elected president, to knowingly do that. And that's what it was. an organized effort. And then I had another friend of mine put up a post. That's Bernie, my friend Bernie on Truth and Art TV. Revenge. Schiff vows revenge after McCarthy blocks him and Swalwell from Intel. What kind of talk is that, Adam? You don't talk like that and get away with it. Not for very long. You've been getting away with enough, and nobody can say that McCarthy, the statement he made publicly and a letter he wrote and published concerning his official letter that is in the records of the House of Representatives. It's in the congressional record. Is unforgiving and lambasts both Adam Schiff and Eric Swalwell, and his public statements to the news media were unequivocal that their behavior was unacceptable and that they were working not in the best interest of the American people, and they would be in no circumstances be allowed on the Intelligence Committee. Anybody who didn't see that, anybody who saw that statement to the press by McCarthy verbally and reads his letter in the congressional record cannot point to one thing where he's doing anything but being a white brim, right? So there's a bunch of other stuff. There's a whole lot of stuff we can cover in future broadcasts. Oh my goodness. I appreciate you all for being with me tonight. Thanks to everybody on the screen: Aaron, Robin, Kirsten, Wanda, Sandy, Norman, Dory, Pamela, Nikki B, Camperman, Sinsin, Mac, KNS, Killer Fuzz, Somebody One, Somebody Two. That's everybody since I've had this channel up for a year that have contributed to the Buy Me a Coffee link that's in the description. Channel support link in the description. Thank you. This is a viewer-supported broadcast and a creator-supported broadcast only. Okay? I think it's 12 or 13 people over the course of a year, and I appreciate every one of you all. So you all have a great evening, and I'll see you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.